G'day everyone, Brendan here. Hope you had a good Christmas. We just had a quiet one this year, a bit worn out. I've just had my operations, so still recovering from that. Unfortunately, I had some technical issues the other day when I was trying to put this video together. Still having a bit of technical fun at the moment, but going to try and get this video happening for you. So a few months ago, Aurora and I had to go up to Perth. We are both very grateful to be participants of the NDIS, but means a lot of admin side of it for me. And these occasional trips to Perth. So the NDIS, they like to use functional capacity assessments by occupational therapists as a way to show what a participant might need on the NDIS in terms of supports and therapies and things. And unfortunately, it's a bit hard to get one done for a kid around here in Bunbury. So, yeah, we had a trip up to Perth and a few nights away. And looking for accommodation, I actually found out that you can go and stay at the world-famous Fremantle Prison. They have a youth hostel there and still having computer dramas. That was a little interesting bonus for the trip, and run you through a little slideshow of our couple of nights from here. Travelling with my daughter as a dad, it can make it hard to protect her, but we actually spent double for a family room rather than sharing toilets with the other guests. It was really great to be immersed in the history of the women's quarters of the old Fremantle Prison. A lot of signage around about previous inhabitants. Looked into some of the past inhabitants, and a lot of those ladies, they were just in for trying to survive in poverty. A lot of them were working during the night on their backs. Some were in theft. But the YHA have done a very good job of setting it up for accommodation, mainly for backpackers. Some great areas for recreation and dining, and then a lot of shared rooms, actually in the old jail rooms, as you can see here. And this is a house that belonged to a lady, I'm completely blank on her name. She lived in the Fremantle Ports area for years and just refused to sell her block. And they weren't able to buy it until she passed away. But they actually used this house, the external part of the house, in one of my favourite movies, Stone Bros. The characters played by Luke Carroll and the other guy playing Eddie, this was the external setting for their place before they left for Kalgoorlie. It was great to spend time driving through Cottesloe and Claremont. I grew up there when I was Aurora's age. Used to love swimming at Cottesloe Beach. Many people will recognise the old bell, which used to be part of a shark-proof fence. Had a naughty Hungry Jack's after the appointment before we headed back for a swim at Cot. Kind of terrifying. I didn't really feel like swimming, but just watching Aurora in the waves and heading out to the bell, and I was sort of stuck on the beach if anything happened. But she had a great time trying to. She couldn't quite climb up on the bell, but a lot of kids were out there climbing up and jumping off. Someone on a sup board there. The old tea rooms and surf life saving rooms. Yeah, I used to love jumping off the bell myself, and you can see Aurora out of focus there. She had a great time, and always hard to get her back out of the water. Old Bell's got a bit of a hiding over the years, even That post got replaced a long time ago after it was blown down in a storm. It looks like the cement part's taken a hiding as well. Some pretty bad photos there of mine, but you can see some of the construction going on at the beach there. It's changed a lot since I was a kid. And then heading back to Fremantle Prison, we were meeting a friend of mine, very dear friend Benita, and her son Miles. So just walking up from the women's part to the main part of the prison and looking at some of the old extra buildings there, including this chaplain's residence. And a stone bearing witness to Aboriginal people in the wall, I think that was. This was back in October, so it's now very second last day of the year. So just really drawing on my memory at the moment. Chief Warder's residence, some very fine examples of colonial architecture. Magistrate's residence, which I believe, not sure which one of these buildings just yet, but it's being used as a cookery school now, I think. And the convict stables. Front of Fremantle Prison, wearing a hat for one from Dave, the trees on his farm. Heritage tour. I've done the basic tour for the modern part of the prison before, and this was my first time going into the older prison, older part. And you can see in the background there the quarry where they dug the limestone to build the prison back in the 1850s, and the famous chapel window where people believe they can see Martha Rendell's face. She decided she'd make her stepkids drink some hydrochloric acid. Nasty. But, I haven't really been able to talk about it before, but I'm descended from not one but two convicts who were transported as Aurora. So back in the 1870s I had my 3 times great-grandfather. He was transported. Unfortunately, he got into a bit of a kerfuffle with a bobby, and he was transported. We have the chapel, a very interesting set of executions, and they had to change the commandments, whereas the traditional commandment says thou shalt not kill. Bit hypocritical that they were actually killing some of the worst offenders at Fremantle Prison. And if you go on the Beyond Bars tour, you can actually see the gallows. 3 stories high, the prison, as I said, in the 1850s. And I haven't actually seen the Catholic prison here before. I've been in the Anglican prison, but I'm tired today. The chapels. I've been in the Anglican chapel before, but not the Catholic chapel, with the beautiful mural there and the confessional box. And there's actually a link here to the Kelper rescue involving Fenians. First JB O'Reilly escaped from Fremantle Prison, and he helped other prisoners escape to head back to Ireland, and they were the forerunner. The Fenians were the forerunners to the IRA. Can't remember why this cell had those vent holes, and then another prisoner did some very fine artwork inside his cell, which of course was forbidden, but some really beautiful examples of prisoners' art still remain to this day. Here we are looking at Moondine Joe's cell. Moondyne Joe was a bushranger and boasted that no cell could hold him, and they built this especially for him, and he escaped it. Over the fence he went. You can see where they actually shackled him to the floor, but somehow he still managed to get away. We're about to see both a movie, a mini-series and a documentary regarding another famous prisoner from Fremantle Prison, Brendan Abbott. He's going to be in the series Run soon, but he was another famous escapee. About going back in the 90s, they actually had a riot just before the prison closed. 1990, they were still living with bucket toilets, no air conditioning, and they'd had enough. They rioted and they set the place on fire. But heading out now into the exercise yard. This was also featured in another movie I've watched. Has the guy from Packed to the Rafters, Ryan Core, and sort of breaks up a bit of a cage fighting thing the other guards have going on. Pretty good movie. Bit of the seating and the old razor wire there. Not sure how these prisoners got out, but they had to face the razor wire and broken glass on top of the walls. No privacy in jail. Had the open urinals and the other dunnies there. Heading into some solitary confinement, and it was pretty bad. These prisoners, I mean, they've done something horrible to be in jail, but they were shut up in darkness in this solitary confinement, and basically they'd come out stark raving mad, to put it bluntly, and ended up over in the what was called the lunatic asylum. Not very politically correct to call it that these days, but now home to the Fremantle Arts Centre. There's Aurora locked up in the solitary confinement. Another one of the renowned prisoners. Not sure if Aurora's trying to do some cakes in there. The guy who actually very dark in there. There's the I can't think of the name of those now, but very much corporal punishment, often to the point that prisoners would need to be cut down, patched up, and then brought back to finish all their lashings. And from there we moved into the old admin block, which is pretty much as it was when the guards walked out in 1991. Photos on the walls. They must have made some real characters who spent time behind these walls. And because things were just no longer suitable for people to be locked up, they moved everyone over to the maximum security prison at Mount Casuarina. This is where the superintendents and other guards work from. Chaplain stairs up to the chapel above. Thanks for bearing with my brain fog today. It's another warm day, not as hot as Christmas Day. Water bombers buzzing overhead, heading out from Bunbury Airport to a fire in Leicester. Between that one and one in Warnborough, we're going to have a bit of fun on our drive up to Perth. We're not that affected, but it's going to affect which way we head up to Perth for an appointment, as well as meeting up with my parents. So it'll be interesting to see how the day goes. Certainly had a very good time on the tour with Benita, Miles, and the guide Ian. Going back to some of the colonial history now in this part. Some of the things they found when they were doing some renovations. Bit of information there about the riot in 1988. The escape yard. I think that was... looking up the information about my great-great-great-grandfather, Thomas Smith. Better photo there. He, ended up in the Granite region. Bit of an example of the old uniforms, both for the convicts and the guards. A lot of these convicts were brought out for some hard labour, setting up the new penal colony. And a lot of these buildings in Fremantle still exist to this day. Unlike Perth, they've hung on to them rather than knock them down. There we go, John Boyle O'Reilly. He actually engineered this escape of the 7 other prisoners, and they made their way down to Bunbury to hop on the Catalpa ship back to Ireland. Unfortunately, I couldn't find my brochure for the prison today to tell you about some of the other amazing facts of this old establishment. There's been a few escapes over the years, going basically back to when it was first built, construction timeline, and some more of the artifacts they found. I can't think of the name of those now, but very much corporal punishment, often to the point that prisoners would need to be cut down, patched up, and then brought back to finish all their lashings. And from there, we moved into the old admin block, which is pretty much as it was when the guards walked out in 1991. There's some historical photos on the walls. There must have been some real characters who spent time behind these walls. But because things were just no longer suitable for people to be locked up, they moved everyone over to the maximum security prison now at Casuarina. This is where the superintendents and other guards would work from. The chaplain stairs up to the chapel above. Thanks for bearing with my brain fog today. It's another warm day, not as hot as Christmas Day. Got water bombers buzzing overhead from heading out from Bunbury Airport to a fire near Leschenault. Yeah, I've really got a bit of between that one and one in Warnborough. We're going to have a bit of fun on our drive up to Perth. We're not learning as that affected, but it's going to affect. Thanks for watching to the end. Which way we head up to Perth for an appointment, as well as hopefully get on to some of these other old videos that I've been meaning to edit for so long. Just still dealing with a lot of fatigue and had a very good everyday life time on the tour with Benita, Miles, and the guide Ian. Hope you enjoyed this trip into history, and we'll see you guys next time. Going back to some of the colonial history now in this part. Some of the things they found when they were doing some renovations. Bit of information there about the riot in 1988. The escape yard. I think that was... looking up the information about my great-great-great-grandfather, Thomas Smith. Better photo there. He, ended up in the Granite region. Bit of an example of the old uniforms, both for the convicts and the guards. A lot of these convicts were brought out for some hard labour, setting up the new penal colony, and a lot of these buildings in Fremantle still exist to this day. Unlike Perth, they've hung on to them rather than knock them down. There we go, John Boyle O'Reilly. He actually engineered this escape of the 7 other prisoners, and they made their way down to Bunbury to hop on the Catalpa ship back to Ireland. Unfortunately, I couldn't find my brochure for the prison today to tell you about some of the other amazing facts of this old establishment. There's been a few escapes over the years, going basically back to when it was first built, construction timeline, and some more of the artifacts they found. Do try and get down to the prison. Some very, very interesting and harsh history. One of my bucket list items is to do the tunnels tour one day, where you can climb down a ladder after dressing up in overalls and safety harness, and you can actually go and look at the old water tunnels underneath the prison, travelling by the old boats they had there. Another example of that cat of nine tails. I hadn't realised that I actually visited the prison in primary school, and it was only just after it had closed. At the time, was being run by a private tour company. Having a bit of fun. These souvenir coins, a bit hard to get sometimes. But, be 110 years worth of history that we saw.